The God of War PC port just launched, and to absolutely nobody's surprise, PlayStation fanboys are crying over it. Because as we are all aware, at this point they hate PC ports and anything to do with PlayStation which comes to PC. Although weirdly this time, they've begun attempting to claim that Sony are saving PC gaming. Now how anyone can actually believe that is once again something we normal people will never be able to understand. Because Steam alone is single-handedly the biggest gaming storefront in existence right now, and surpasses all consoles in terms of its player base. The whole reason as to why Sony are porting games to PC is because they need the platform in order to grow further. Remember, there is a limited population of players who will buy a PlayStation and have a PC, but Sony ponies obviously cannot comprehend things as simple as that. So without further delay, let's get into the PS5 fanboys crying over God of War's PC port. I will forever fight for PlayStation exclusives. In 2008, our treasured history and legacy could have been destroyed, but we snapped back with PlayStation exclusives such as Demon's Souls 2009 and Little Big Planet 2009 to compete with the dominating Xbox 360. This is sad news to me. And now that history and legacy lives on through emulation on PC, along with native PC ports. I know I for one enjoy Demon's Souls through RPCS3 on my gaming computer. Your exclusives have been on PC for a while now. You've just never realized it until Sony made PC ports. And well, boy oh boy do I have news for you. PS5 exclusive ports to PC are far closer than you think. Horizon Forbidden West already has one leaked, and it's recently come to light that Sony's own studios were the ones pushing for PC ports, not the higher ups in the companies. Now I don't know about you guys, but I think the actual developers of these games would have a greater understanding of said franchises and where they want them to be played. Believe it or not, but most developers want their games to be played on as many platforms as humanly possible. Unfortunately, that as many as humanly possible is currently limited to PC and PlayStation, due to Sony wanting water weight in order to make their platform look more appealing. PC port begging trolls made us feel bad about creating exclusive software that takes advantage of the hardware it was created for. To no one's surprise, JTech once again fails to comprehend the most basic shit imaginable. The only person who surpasses this man in terms of idiocy is King Thrash, and that is truly saying something. Just because a game is on multiple platforms, that doesn't mean it can't take advantage of specific platform capabilities to their max. Hence why God of War on PC has higher quality textures, higher quality lighting, has features like DLSS support along with many more features that are exclusive to PCs due to their inherently superior hardware. God of War did take advantage of the PS4's hardware, and it being ported to PC does not change that. Neither would day-and-date PC ports, because guess what? PC hardware is superior to the PS5 as well as the PS4, so bringing those games to the platform in no way, shape or form would limit them. In the worst case scenario, developers can make lower end graphical settings for games on PC then available on the PS5 in order for people with low end rigs to run them, and that in no way, shape or form means the game has to be downgraded on the PS5. All it means is that developers can either choose to accommodate for outdated hardware, or they can choose to do what has always happened, which is eventually not support hardware due to it simply being put incapable of running the latest games and outdated, which is what is happening at the moment with a hell of a lot of people's rigs. PC ports certainly do not limit PS5 exclusives in any way. In fact, they merely offer better versions of said games on another platform. Funny, I was told PlayStation started porting games on PC because Xbox did it first. I think it's incredibly obvious to anyone with a functioning brain that Microsoft allowing their developers to bring their games to PC was a major reason as to why developers working for PlayStation Studios began to start asking for Sony to allow them to do this. I mean, it's not like this doesn't make sense or anything like that. People would have seen Microsoft Studios doing it and gone, oh shit, maybe Sony will allow us to do the same thing. Obviously it worked. In no world did Microsoft allowing developers to port their games to PC not play a role in it happening for PlayStation exclusives. Personally, I'd say it's a mixture of devs and naturally wanting as many people to play their games as possible, and Sony seeing that it's been extremely successful for Microsoft. You have to be incredibly delusional to unironically believe that Sony didn't look at something Xbox was doing successfully and wanted to mimic it themselves. They are after all a business, and believe it or not, businesses solely exist to maximize profits. God of War has more players on PC than Halo Infinite. Holy shit, it's almost like God of War quite literally launched 9 minutes before your tweet. And if we look at the all-time peaks for both games as well as the 24-hour peaks, we'll see something incredibly incredibly obvious. Halo Infinite has so far been more successful on PC, and will obviously end up having a higher player base for a longer period of time. After a couple of weeks, it's almost guaranteed that the player base will drop for God of War, and Halo Infinite will remain around 36,000 to 60,000 during peak hours, well past God of War's life expectancy for most players. And it's very obvious you're doing this to pull the bullshit of saying that Halo Infinite is a dead game, when in reality, if you look at Destiny 2, a game you ponies love to compare Halo Infinite to, you could make the same bullshit argument that that game is dead by looking at its downtime instead of its peak hours and going, oh my god, God of War's outperforming it, even though in a couple of weeks it won't be. Corey Barlog, I have no idea if God of War Ragnarok will come to PC. It's Sony's decision. Questioning emoji. Now I have no fucking idea where you got that quote, because unsurprisingly the insanely untrustworthy Joe Miller didn't cite his sources. But either way, Corey Barlog isn't going to straight up say they've got a PC port in the works. That would ruin any future announcements they have planned, and considering the success of 2018's port and the fact there are multiple PS5 ports leaked by Nvidia for PS5 exclusives like Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, Returnal and so on, there is a very high possibility of it happening for Ragnarok. Also, the studio who worked on God of War 2018's ports, Tools and Systems programmer, had mentioned working on God of War Ragnarok back in October of last year, again further pushing a very high possibility of God of War Ragnarok coming to PC as well. They already wasted 2 years on a PC port, that's enough. Well, for one, they didn't make the PC port, Jetpack Interactive did, and for another, it definitely wasn't a waste of time, and there's no way in hell Sony will see it as one. I mean, goddamn, after Horizon Zero Dawn's success, they instantly decided to port God of War 2018 to PC. You don't think they'll continue it with Ragnarok even after Jim Ryan stated there will be a whole slate coming? Hopefully it won't. Not gonna lie here, I think you may have used the wrong emoji there. But moving on, why the fuck would you not want more PC ports? It doesn't even affect you, and it quite literally just gives the company you guys love sucking the dick of more money. Nobody loses in these situations. People only take W's, and yet for some reason these people are still crying over more people being able to play the same games as them. It is truly, completely and utterly pathetic. But then again, we should not be expecting anything else from Sony ponies. Sony is teasing them PC fellas with the God of War 2018 port, so they jump into the PS5 bandwagon when they witness that Ragnarok is greatness. The blue ball strategy has done wonders for the PlayStation brand. The whole reason Sony has been porting these games to PC is because the vast majority of the market is not at all interested in consoles. Having to wait for Ragnarok to be ported over is not something we give a shit about. We waited 4 years for God of War 2018 to come to PC. Do you really think we can't wait another 4 years for Ragnarok? Because we sure as hell can. And Sony more than likely does not give a shit if it leads to a few more people buying a PS5 to play Ragnarok, due to the simple fact they do not make profit from console sales. They make money from digital storefront sales, so if a few more people buy a PS5 because of this, that's a drop in the water for them. However, if they put the game on Steam, which let's be honest here is inevitable, it'll sell a hell of a lot more copies, because more people will buy it on PC than the very few buying a console just to play one game, especially when they already own a PC. Plays better on PS5. You low-key have to feel bad for these poor ponies. They're in hardcore denial mode at the moment because they can't stand the idea of a vastly superior system, and one that more than likely costs more, outperforming their $500 console. God of War, from what we've seen, has a pretty good PC port, and Jetpack Interactive did a fantastic job. DLSS actually improves the quality of the game even more than the base lighting plus texture quality upgrades we got on PC. At the end of the day, PC hardware will always be superior to console hardware, and that is a simple fact. How anyone can deny that is truly baffling. You selling our exclusives to other platforms is hopefully a sign you have better incentives for those of us paying into your subscription service. Just wait until the multiplayer PlayStation exclusive comes to PC and we don't have to pay for PS Plus. Oh wait, never mind. With the jokes put to one side for a second, what the fuck does this have to do with PlayStation subscription offerings? This is a game, not a subscription, and if you're worried about them, we already have PS Now on PC, and well, neither PlayStation or PC users want that dog shit. PlayStation games coming to PC does not take any value away from your system. All it does is make Sony more money and give me more games to put into my annoyingly large back catalogue. Yeah, why have a console seller? Just have the game on PC, right, Sony? That is exactly right. right. And I can't wait to see how these people react once Sony inevitably starts doing day-and-date PC ports for all their exclusives, because we all know it's going to happen. They slowly opened up their third-party exclusives to being on PC, and then they've been porting tons of PS4 exclusives to PC, and there are even more PS5 games with PC ports leaked thanks to Nvidia. If you don't think day and date is coming, you're a complete moron, to be honest. An image of God of War killing Halo Infinite. It is truly hilarious to me that these Sony ponies don't realize that God of War's player base will fall faster than Halo Infinite due to the inherent nature of single player titles. You think they'd understand that comparing a game directly at launch to a game that's been out for over 2 months makes zero sense in and of itself, but then again, when have these ponies ever managed to comprehend anything to a semi-decent degree? God of War about to break Sony PC record tomorrow, whilst Halo Infinite is dead as fuck across all platforms. Talent always wins. Ah yes, Halo Infinite, a game that is so dead it's the 4th most played game on Xbox, and so dead its 24-hour peak was at 36,000 users during a time where an entire game mode that is extremely popular is broken. If that doesn't scream dead to you, then you're a normally functioning human with an average brain. Halo Infinite is nowhere near dead like these Sony ponies and Bungie fanboys are so desperately trying to prove. Every game has a dip and a peak daily. That's how video game populations work. When the next event for Halo Infinite happens, you'll more than likely see that number rise back up to around 40k or 50,000 users during peak hours on Steam alone. Now I cannot at all be asked to read any more Sony pony tweets, so with all that being said, please do not forget to do all the things YouTubers love to beg you to do, aka check out my Discord server, follow me on Twitter, as well as like, comment and subscribe, so that I will see you all in the next video.